Chase Elliott, Ty Gibbs, and Tyler Reddick all have sponsor news, and Cadillac is going F1 racing. Let's talk about it. Coming up next. What is going on, everybody? Hope you're doing good today. All right, got some crazy news today. First off, let's jump to the sponsor news. If you missed the live stream, Chase Elliott lost his sponsor, A-Shock, so he no longer has a beverage sponsor. I said on that, the perfect beverage sponsor to step in and step up would be Coors Light and do some of those Coors Light or Coors original paint schemes that his father ran. So that would be a really, really good idea. So hopefully that is the beverage sponsor that steps up. Now, A-Shock is owned by Dr. Pepper. Dr. Pepper is still a sponsor on 2311. So it makes me think that the A-Shock brand itself failed, like that A-Shock energy drink failed, more so than Dr. Pepper wanted to get out of racing or anything like that. But speaking of 2311, Steve Lalletta, the main guy that runs the organization over there, announced that all of the same sponsors are coming back in this tweet from Bob Pockrass. So, of course, if that holds true, you know, we'd see DoorDash, Columbia, Dr. Pepper, Root, McDonald's, and Leidos on that 23 car, and the 45 car would have that Jordan brand, that Wheaties Jordan brand deal, the Moneyline, McDonald's, and Monster Energy. So that is who I would expect to see over there on the 2311 news. So really, no fuss made about it, but they basically said all of our sponsors are coming back. So 2311 is lined up. A lot of people were concerned about Tyler Reddick and if he would have a sponsor or not because they hadn't announced one yet. So basically, they are going to have the same sponsors, it looks like, on that 45 car. The reason people were worried that Tyler Reddick wouldn't have a sponsor is because Monster Energy came out and said that they are going to sponsor Ty Gibbs in a significant amount of races in that number 54 car for Joe Gibbs Racing, as you can see from this tweet here. So you would expect them to have the vast majority of races over there. Of course, they basically said they can't announce it because the other part of that tweet there is that, well, Joe Gibbs Racing is about to announce all of its sponsor lineups coming up for the upcoming season, so we will look out for that. And finally, Adam Stern announcing, Follow Andretti Autosport is announcing that it has partnered with General Motors, GM, and its Cadillac brand to apply for an F1 expansion team slot. F1 and some of its 10 teams only were open to adding an 11th outfit if it brought a new OEM, and Andretti has now fulfilled that. So as long as the application is approved, Cadillac and Andretti Autosport will be in F1. That gives Americans a second team to pull for in F1, Haas being the other team. Haas just got a sponsor over there with their team too, so hopefully they will improve and get better. But I would be actually way more excited about Andretti Autosport. Nothing against Haas. They have a really good driver in Kevin Magnussen, but they have not done great in F1. They've had a few years here and there, but for the most part, they have been a back marker in the F1 deal. And if you remember Haas, before he teamed up with Tony Stewart, he was not doing really good in NASCAR by himself either. He has not found that partner in Tony Stewart over there in the F1 series. He hasn't found that Tony Stewart version of the F1 guy to help him out over there just yet. So they have struggled, but Andretti Autosport is a juggernaut. I expect them to come in and probably the first 1 or 2 seasons, they might struggle. Who they get the engine from, who the drivers will be questions that will have to be answered. But Andretti Autosport is a juggernaut. I expect them to go over there, and eventually they will compete at the highest level in F1. I have no doubt about that in my mind. Of course, they'll have to line up sponsors, but they have had no problem doing that thus far in anything they've done. So I would expect them to go over there and make a big impact. Maybe not the first season, but at least by the second season, I would expect to see some type of impact from Andretti Autosport. So definitely, if you're a big F1 fan, get excited about that. If you're a General Motors fan, get excited about that. And so, you know, I think that's just really great news. I know I don't cover a lot of F1 stuff, but I figured General Motors getting involved in F1 would be a pretty big deal. And of course, there is still the rumor out there that Ford is thinking about making engines for basically Red Bull Racing. So that's another interesting deal there. So General Motors and Ford possibly getting involved in F1 is another layer to add to that onion. But all right, that is all I got for you on this one. If you liked what you saw so far, feel free to subscribe down below. It helps the channel out a whole lot, and I really appreciate it. And you know, if you guys are already subscribed, I appreciate you as well. If you got a comment or question, leave it down in the comments section. I'll try to get to as many of them as I can. And other than that, thanks for your time. Peace.